Local entrepreneur Matt Boschka tells us about his past and what set the stage for his foray into business, being a restaurateur and exploring new fields, including cannabis and CBD. Matt has always been inspired to push the edge in exploring business and community involvement and has opened a number of businesses in the area, including Dublin Square, Valley High Golf Club, David Ray's, Cannabis Depot, and Carbon Cannabis. I'm Amy, and he's Brent, and this is La Crosse Local.
My name is Matt Boschka. I was born and raised in La Crosse County, La Crosse, Wisconsin. I got into the restaurant industry around 2010 as far as owning a restaurant. However, I've been in the restaurant industry since I was around 17 years old when I was a busboy for the Radisson. Bartended throughout college at Eduardo's and at the Pettibone Boat Club, and then took a hiatus from the restaurant and bar industry for a while after I graduated from UWL. An opportunity came up in 2010 to start Dublin Square Pub, and here we are today, 2020, 10 years later.
Just starting with Dublin Square, can you give some history into how this restaurant came about?
Around 2009, right when I was departing the pharmaceutical industry, I had a couple of really close friends, Tim and Matt, who are the other two co-owners. There was an opportunity for this really nice location where we are right now, right on 3rd and Main. It wasn't quite developed yet as far as how many bars and restaurants in the area. So we wanted to put together not just a bar in the downtown area. We wanted to put together a really nice restaurant/bar with an outdoor patio, because that was a kind of a novel concept back in 2010. There weren't too many patios about. Now you see them, they're everywhere throughout the city. But back then, we felt like it was quite of a niche market for us, and we take advantage of that. We also realized that there was a good amount of Irish culture here and Irish heritage Cross County area, and there really weren't any Irish pubs at all. There was an Irish bar around. They really weren't hitting on that Irish pub, full Irish atmosphere, traditional Irish pub setting. So we felt like that, coupled with the opportunity to have an outdoor patio where you could drink, put together a business plan, went out and sought financing, and we all left our real jobs, and then we started Dublin Square, and we are off and running 10 years later.
Did your group have some market research and actually head to Ireland?
Not before we started the pub. That was something we did a few years after. We're like, well, hey, we own an Irish pub. Let's dig in a little bit more and see how they really do it in the Irish pubs over in Ireland. Interestingly enough, it was one of the best trips of my life. We went over there, us three owners and one of our buddies. We got to tour through a ton of pubs. We stayed in a bunch of cities. We rented a car and traveled throughout. We also got taken on VIP tours for the Guinness Brewery, Jameson Distillery, the Tullamore Dew Distillery, and a couple others. It was a great experience for all of us. We did learn a lot. We had a lot of fun.
It sounds like there's a lot of planning that goes into these different restaurants and brands you have. One of your most recent additions is David Ray's Modern Diner and Tavern in Onalaska, which is also in a great spot. Where did that concept come from?
Okay, so Dave and Barb Scogan were looking to put together this plan, which is now Dash Park, and they wanted a restaurant. They were seeking out possible restaurant owners to run the restaurant for them. I threw my name in the hat, along with many other local restaurateurs that had concepts for it. I really wanted to develop a concept that was kind of novel to the area, where it was more of a diner, but we wanted to modernize it, make it a hip, cool, trendy place that had, up-to-speed decor, old-school home cooking, comfort food dishes, and just kind of twist them up a little bit, modernize them, make them a little bit more funky, fancy. Play off well with the Dash Park too. Something where you could have ice cream, you could possibly have like a diner dog, or something that you could just take out in the park and enjoy. Dave Scogan and Barb Scogan really liked the concept that I had come up with. We named it after David Ray Scogan. We wanted to have a perfect combination of home style cooking, comfort food, with a lively, up to speed tavern. And here we are today. We've been in business for 2.5 years now, and things are going great.
You've chosen great anchor stores to all be on Main Street in La Crosse for Dublin, and then you're in Main Street on Onalaska. It has a nice view, you can look around, and it's just kind of an ideal situation when you're going out to eat. Speaking about edibles, you're also involved in Cannabis Depot and Carbon Cannabis, which is really popular now. How did you jump into that market, and how do you see that working into the culinary industry?
Well, I've always been a proponent of the benefits of the cannabis plant. I've been researching cannabis since I was in 7th grade. I did a persuasive speech, I think, when I was in 8th grade, on why I felt that marijuana should be decriminalized in the United States. It's come a long way since then, but I've always been reading up on the benefits of it: anti-anxiety, anti-stress, anti-inflammatory, helps with sleep, all of those things. There is copious amounts of studies out there that suggest that it is very beneficial for some of these ailments. We have customers that come into our store all the time that have testimonials where they've been on either opioids or they've been on any sort of these medications, and then they get on CBD, and then lo and behold, after a few weeks or a couple months of taking it, they're getting off of those meds and they're feeling better about themselves. And it's more of a natural, holistic, wellness approach to the plant. Long gone are the days of the stigma of it being a stoner plant and it's the devil's lettuce and you're just going to sit on your couch all day and eat potato chips. That stigma and that whole thought process about cannabis is slowly but surely going away. And that's why I think you found that a couple of years ago, 80% of the county voted to decriminalize or legalize it in some sort in La Crosse County. Cannabis Depot is now franchised in 3 states, Wisconsin, Missouri, and Louisiana. We're franchising nationally. We have a good product. We have a good store. Our cannabis consultants are super knowledgeable. We have high-quality products that are all third-party lab tested. We also sell it at some of the most affordable prices in the entire country. We want to make the plant available and accessible to everyone out there that could benefit from it. But Carbon is another business. We're a hemp processor and extraction lab right here in La Crosse County. And we're in the Rubber Mills building. So we take biomass hemp from Wisconsin farmers. We lab test it right when we get it from the farmer. We make a nice high quality, potent, pure CBD oil, send that in for lab testing. And then we bottle it right here in La Crosse too. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, it's a huge market. It's one of the fastest growing markets available right now. There's a wild potential for growth here. And we wanted to be on the forefront of that. We didn't want to be way behind the game. So we feel very confident and very excited about what the opportunity for cannabis brings here in the next 5 to 10 years.
All of your businesses have a community fundraising component to it, either if it's a chicken queue or giving a percentage back to the community. Why do you feel that is important?
If you look at the mission statement, pretty much for any of my businesses, being a community-focused business is right up there. Ever since a young kid, I believe 8 years old, my mother and I have been delivering Meals on Wheels around the community. I still do it once a month. I've been heavily involved with Rotary, going to St. Lucia for a couple of weeks and building houses down there. I've just always had that component inside of me, and I think that's been just engraved in me from my mom. That sense of service above self, that's just always been a part of me. So why would that not transcend into my businesses? I feel working alongside with the community is beneficial for the community, but it's also beneficial to us too. We have a lot of people that come in and they're very appreciative of that, and we're very appreciative of them. So the community gives back to us in so many ways. It would be foolish of me not to give back to the community in some capacity.
What's next for you?
I think what's next for me is I'm going to continue to ride the cannabis wave. We're growing pretty rapidly with Cannabis Depot. Carbon Cannabis is going to be growing. We have some big things coming with that company. I'll continue to handle the Valley High Golf Course. Continue to work with Dublin Square and David Ray's. Who knows? I might get involved, more buying more real estate, and eventually I'd like to slow down a little bit and just start to enjoy my life.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Locals. Subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.